The Simpsons is a legendary adult animated show, some say the best adult cartoon of all time, and it definitely started off that way, with series 1 to 10 in my opinion being some of the smartest, funniest and most well written episodes of all of television history, not just animation. So was it all downhill after that, or was there still some gold left in the well?
Gotta be nice, hostility, diddly biddly diddly, hell, diddly ding dong crap!
Now I'm not here to say that the whole show after series 10 went to complete garbage. It definitely dropped off a lot in quality, and that's no secret. It's pretty well agreed upon within the fandom and amongst the general public that the classic series, Simpsons' peak, was from season 1 to 8, with seasons 9 and 10 still being pretty great, but definitely showing signs that the show was about to fall off. Soon after, we had the middle seasons being very hard to get through, that being series 11 to 20, just before the show went HD. Those episodes after that are a whole different conversation. The change in writing from series 11 is definitely noticeable, there's no denying it, and the shift in quality is actually quite jarring in retrospective. This is a season where we had tobacco killer animals, killer jockeys and robot killing toys. A lot of killers in this series, definitely. It's no secret that this series isn't great. In fact, it's fairly unbearable in certain places. I don't hate it and can usually get through a binge watch without dying, but I don't know what they were cooking here. There are some important episodes, however, to the continuity and to the show as a whole going forward, like the episode 8, Misbehaving, where we're introduced to Apu's children, and Alone Again Diddley, where sadly Ned's wife is killed off. Definitely some important episodes to the overall series and worth watching, if not for anything else, but for the continuity. I just wish they were part of a better season. An extremely underwhelming season with some few decent episodes, but nothing great here unfortunately. Season 11 is definitely one of the weakest seasons we've had. Then we had season 12, which in my opinion is a much better version of season 11. It has some bizarre episodes of its own, but they actually work so much better here. Episodes like Skinner's Sense of Snow, A Tale of Two Springfields, and I'm Going to Praiseland. Nothing as bizarre as the killer jockeys, I agree, however, still a little more out there than a lot of the earlier seasons' plots. These episodes, however, are a lot more easy to watch, extremely fun with some good character work. Not masterpieces by any means, but they definitely do a lot more with their concepts this season than the last one did. Now this season isn't devoid of bad episodes, sadly. We do have some stinkers, especially the likes of Homer, an episode where in its own right isn't necessarily the worst per se, but in the context of The Simpsons as a whole, it is so infuriating to me and just really annoys me as a fan. Crayon being the reason behind Homer's stupidity is just such a dumb retcon, really not a fan of that one. But then we come to season 13, the final season I will be talking about and the main point of this video.
Kids, turn off the TV. I have some bad news about Lenny.
Not Lenny!
This is the season I most recently binged and the one that inspired me to write this. Season 13 is really where the show started to find its footing again for me. We start off extremely strong with the Treehouse of Horror having some of the best segments in recent years, like the Pierce Bronson Killing House segment and the Harry Potter homage that released before the movies, cool fact right there. Followed by some fun run-of-the-mill episodes like Homer the Mole and A Hunker Hunker Burns in Love. Episodes that aren't great, but are just pure middle Simpsons fun. I really enjoy revisiting those sort of episodes. The characters are all familiar now with this new style of writing, and they're just neat. The Simpsons really found its new ground in this season. We have some genuinely great episodes as well this time around, such as I Am Furious, the Angry Dad episode, Jaws Wired Shut, a really solid Homer episode, I have so much fun with this one, and She of Little Faith, which has always been a personal favourite of mine, and as a kid, I actually had this on a Simpsons compilation DVD and was not aware that this came from season 13. I always just thought this was a classic Simpsons episode, and that's how I've always perceived it. Calling nostalgia, but I really do love this episode. Contrasting these fantastic stories are episodes like Weekend at Burnsies, an episode I very rarely revisit because the topic belongs more to Family Guy than The Simpsons. Not a bad episode and there are some solid jokes, it's just I don't like seeing Homer on drugs, it does not sit right with me. Overall, I found this season to be very meta. I remember watching it and constantly finding the characters winking to the audience, similar to the last season, but more relaxed and comfortable with it this time. This is where I believe Middle Simpsons peaked. A season that knew what it was and knew how to have fun and deliver us great episodes with this new style and new formula. Season 13 proved that the writers still had it though, and that they still had steam to carry on the show. And if they really put their thinking caps on, we could have continued getting some great adventures. I'm not saying season 13 is perfect, but damn, it's really fun and very addictive to binge watch. I don't really know what else to say. The Simpsons season 13 reminded me why I love the show despite all the dips in quality. And when I was younger, I knew this too, as I had basically given up on the show by this point, but season 13 came in and pulled me straight back, and I'll always be thankful for that. I hope I've managed to spread a somewhat new perspective on this season, and hopefully reminded you that the Middle Simpsons really wasn't that bad at times, especially during the early stages. Season 11 may have dropped the ball, season 12 came to pick it back up again, but then season 13 launched that thing back into space where it belongs amongst the stars. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more animated discussions, and take care. PS, do not play a drinking game every time I say the Simpsons, season or series. In this video, you will not survive.
But when I do die, I don't want any autopsies!